everyone, it's Kris.
And I'm Wyatt Elliott from Notebook Entertainment.
And you're watching Pop Culture News. Alright, so we're going to start off on a bit of a somber note. We had some big deaths this week and last week. We're going to start with Heish. Definitely rest in peace to Heish. She was a very troubled person who had a very troubled life. And I've been seeing a lot of hot takes, and I think that it's important to remember that we can do two things at once. We can mourn the loss of a very talented but haunted person, as well as feel for her victims and the people that were hurt or lost property during her final act.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's an either or here. I think we should be able to have enough empathy for both.
It's tragic. It's a tragedy.
It's all around.
Is basically what it is. So, I know we've said a lot on the other shows about the Psycho remake, but maybe give it a watch.
Yeah.
Give 6 Days, 7 Nights a watch.
Yeah, 6 Days, 7 Nights. Remember, she was on Ally McBeal.
Yep.
If These Walls Could Talk, which is also kind of relevant at the moment, unfortunately. For our horror fans, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, there you go.
She played David Egan's sister.
Sure did.
Donnie Brasco. She was in
yeah.
Donnie Brasco. She was in Prozac Nation, which was a good movie.
Yeah.
And like we said, she was the best part of that stupid Psycho remake.
Yeah,
she really was.
She really
did
was.
fantastic. The rest of the movie is hot garbage, but she did fantastic in that movie.
And think about it. Like, she put everything into that part, Like, it wasn't like the old one where she had a bodysuit and everything.
Right.
She really went for all of it.
She went for it.
She went for it, so.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Heish. She was talented, and she will be missed. Moving on, we also lost an amazing director. Wolfgang Peterson died. He was the director of one of my favorite movies as a kid, The Neverending Story, although fuck that horse scene. Like, I'm still traumatized from that.
Yeah.
But still, Around That is a great movie.
Right. I saw it way late in life, so I don't have the fondness for it, but I see the potential in it. Besides the horse scene, I think that it could...
it was
very
great.
good. I know that he was very famous for Das Boot.
Das Boot, yeah.
I've never seen that, but I understand the relevance of it and what it meant. I know he made Air Force One.
Yep. And The Perfect Storm.
Yeah, The Perfect Storm.
And unfortunately, he also directed Troy. I mean, he can't... Not everyone has all winners in their career,
And the thing, what I was always fascinated about his career was he was this close to making the Batman v Superman movie before Zack Snyder got a hold of it. And it sounded like when the script is leaked out and people have kind of, gone over it a few times. I've seen lots of videos about it. It sounds really, crazy. And, I kind of wish it was made. But with the Batman v Superman we got is what we got.
What they need to do is stop being cowards and make Nicolas Cage Superman.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm going to watch a Superman movie.
Well, they were going to, according to Kevin Smith, they were going to, but they canceled it. So...
I know. Well, I was going to say, I have that later on, but since you brought him up, let's segue into Kevin Smith. He's got his tour going on right now. Tickets are on sale. We just got the Chicago one, so we got our tickets. Make sure you get yours.
And it was hard to find. The initial release they put out of the tour didn't include a lot of the Midwest. They've been adding them, and so you really got to search the websites to find out what theater it's going to be in, because I had to really, really search for it.
So if you're in the Midwest, look for it. If you're on the coast, I'm pretty sure it's openly available, right?
Yeah. But, so it's going to be in the exact same theater. We saw him last time for the reboot, and so I'm hoping to get my shirt signed a third time.
Right.
So let's see
this
what
time
happens.
we'll be prepared with a marker.
Yeah. We'll keep you posted, guys.
All right, so let's move on, unfortunately, to WB / Discovery Plus, which is just a big old mess, you guys.
Still, yeah.
So several shows have been canceled or pulled from HBOMax, a lot of them original content, which I guess fuck those artists.
This is unheard of.
It's crazy. Hollywood isn't they don't understand what this guy's doing.
And what's really sad is they're not putting them on DVD or anything.
Nope, it's just gone. And the other thing is they're canceling projects they've already been made. These people have already put their work, their sweat, their blood, their tears, everything into it, and then it's like, oh, never mind.
I just can't understand why they just don't put it on the streaming service. I just don't understand.
Right, you have a streaming service.
That's what it's for.
What it's
you
for.
want content on there. Well, no one's watching it. Well,
according to the Variety article, this decision was made solely because of the merger and to cut costs by not having to pay residuals to creators or actors, which is mega bullshit.
That is,
mega bullshit and not a good look for your company, dude.
And don't they have contracts, or maybe the contract didn't stipulate how long it had to be out?
I don't know. I really don't know if they're cutting contracts or what they're doing here, if it's legal, if we're going to start seeing lawsuits, like who knows.
Oh, I'll bet we're going to start seeing lawsuits.
But here, this is straight from the Variety article. A spokesperson for HBOMax attributed the decision to the pending merge of the platform with Discovery Plus, which is also owned by Warner Brothers Discovery. Quote, as we work towards bringing our content catalogs together under one platform, we will be marking changes to the content offering available on both HBOMax and Discovery Plus. That will include the removal of some content from both platforms. End quote. Taking off the titles from streaming would also help Warner Brothers Discovery cut costs by removing lesser watched programs to save money on residuals. And I also want to say that some shows were pulled while people were actually, like, in the middle of watching them.
I believe it.
So, I don't know if you guys know Adam Conover from Adam Ruins Everything, but he did a whole thread on this. Remember when the promise of streaming was an endless library where even niche shows could be watchable forever? Now, because of the merger, HBO Max is deleting dozens of shows just to save money on taxes and residuals. A needless, shameful waste. Some of the shows being memory hold were hits. Summer Camp Island had 100 episodes and tons of fans. Others were about to premiere new seasons, which now no one will ever see. Creators spent years pouring themselves into these projects. Most weren't even told this was happening. The industry has always been tough. Generations of artists have had their shows canceled. But let's be clear, these deletions are happening solely because of the merger. Consumers hurt, artists tossed aside, money set on fire. The only people who benefit are those at the top. This fan was literally in the middle of watching Infinity Train when it was deleted off the service. And you can see he shared a tweet of someone. And so he finished off his thread with, I'm no tycoon, but my personal belief is that no matter what your spreadsheet says, it's bad for business to burn both your own customers and the community of artists you rely on for content. That's just little old me, though. It's just a mess, and it's not getting any better.
No.
The press for them is not getting any better.
It really
Fans are
isn't.
getting more and more upset with each new thing they're attempting, and they're still not fixing the original problem, which is, why is Amber Heard still in Aquaman? Why is Ezra Miller still in The Flash? Why is this Flash movie still happening? So that brings us into DC.
Yeah.
Which is another branch of WB Discovery Plus mess. So they came out and basically it was, I don't know if it was leaked or it was reported that DC, Warner Brothers, they came up with 3 options for the Flash movie.
Yeah.
The first was that they were going to have Ezra Miller apologize, have them go to therapy and everything, and then just minimize their role in promotion and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, before we go any further, Ezra Miller does use they, them pronouns, so I'm going to try my hardest to do that for them, but I may slip up and say he or whatever. It's not out of disrespect. It's nothing like that. It's just sometimes I slip up. I am trying. So the second option was to just not have him involved in any promotion at all, and just quietly kind of release the movie. And then the third option was to scrap the movie entirely, and it looks like they're going with the first option. So someone tweet out, they're like, what they should do is just blur his face and then just say that he's moving so fast you can't see his face.
That's awesome.
The whole movie.
Digitally put the another actor's face over his. I don't know. I think it's an absolute mess, but whatever.
They're fucked any way they go on this.
Whatever.
Like, Ezra Miller really fucked them. They fucked themselves because, let's be honest, this Ezra Miller problem was a problem before the Flash movie.
Yeah.
They had a chance to get rid of Ezra Miller and cast a different actor.
But they
didn't.
And
they decided to stick with them, and that's...
And my argument's always been, you should have recast if you're going to get rid of the Snyder Universe. You don't have to keep him.
Right, if Gal Gadot's out of work, if Ben Affleck's out of work, if Henry Cavill's out of work, why is he still Barry Allen? Like, it doesn't make
any
sense.
And
or why are they still Barry
It's
Allen?
not like he had a huge fan following as the Flash, because when did we get to see him? We got to see him in Justice League, and then a tiny itsy bitsy appearance in Batman v Superman.
Right.
And who? Besides Snyder fanboys, who are you trying to please?
I forget the name of the kid from Glee that went on and was the Barry Allen Flash in CW, but everybody seems to say like he did fine.
And he looks more like the Flash when I remember him in the comics.
So I don't know why they can't just give that kid a break and give him his movie career. Like, he started off in Glee. Like, he deserves it.
and here's the rumor I've heard is that they're going to put the guy that was in charge of CW shows in charge of the DCEU.
Oh, no.
Now, so here's the thing. I've always heard good things about the CW shows as far as their connectivity and their staying close to the comics and the characters.
The acting and the writing sometimes is a
not
little
so good,
juvenile.
So,
but remember, some of the best episodes of like Supergirl were the ones Kevin Smith came in and directed, or they had guest directors on. So
the only hope is that maybe the CW guy at least understands the connectivity of it all,
how to do storytelling,
and maybe they can just hire good writers and directors. But I don't know. I don't know, guys.
It's just proving how valuable Kevin Feige really is. Like, all right, so going on to good DC news, because there actually is one thing bringing in good DC news. What? Sandman! God, I'm so excited, you guys. I love the Sandman series, the graphic novels. If you haven't read them, please, God, read them. They're so good. And then read everything else by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. So Sandman's killing it. Early streaming reports has it as one of the most in-demand shows. I think it's starting to creep up on Stranger Things.
I need to start watching this.
It's trending like every day.
I have been hearing that it is comic accurate to a point where the only thing they've cut out is the connections to DC other comics.
And the visuals, you guys, stunning. And if you have been watching and you don't know, Netflix just dropped 2 bonus episodes. And here's the most exciting part. So these episodes... they follow certain comic storylines. Okay, so the first one is an animated adaptation of A Dream of a Thousand Cats. And it features voice acting talents from Neil Gaiman himself, as well as Sandra Oh, Rosie Day, David Giese? I'm not sure. I'm not sorry on that one. David Tennant, Michael Sheen, and James McAvoy. McAvoy, I love David Tennant, Michael Sheen. If you haven't seen Good Omens, that's also a Neil Gaiman show based off the books. Go watch it. Book he wrote with Terry Pratchett. Go watch it. Go read it. Amazing.
And apparently this was not announced. This was not scheduled.
No, it was just like surprise. I know. I went on Twitter and Neil Gaiman's like, surprise.
So good for them. This is what streaming is for.
Yep.
I remember with one of the Marvel shows, I forget which one it was, everyone was like all hyped about there's a secret episode, there's going to be more than 6, and then there wasn't. This is how you do it. This is what you're supposed to do. Streaming is for... They need to do more bonus content on streaming.
More interactive with audience, I think, too.
Like if you're going to get rid of physical media, which we all know is eventually coming, but you need to still... People want to see the behind-the-scenes stuff, the interviews, all that stuff. The DVD content needs to be on
movies
streaming.
are no longer just watching movies. People like to immerse themselves into everything about the movie, including how it was made.
Yep, like you could have the worst movie in the world, but I'll still watch behind-the-scenes stuff.
Because that's where the story is, right? Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. So if you have not already, please go watch Good Omens, Sandman. And if you like Sandman, check out, while you're on Netflix, Lucifer. Yeah. Lucifer is a character, okay, not to get confusing, but Lucifer is a character in Sandman. The Lucifer show is loosely based off of that character, but that character, played by Tom Ellis, is not the same Lucifer that's in the Sandman. No. Just so you know. All right, so moving on to Marvel. She-Hulk, first episode premiered. I didn't get to watch it yet. He did. So is Captain America a virgin, or does he fuck?
I don't want to spoil it for everybody. But
because that's the big question everybody had going into episode 1. Does Captain America fuck?
Should we do a spoiler?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Okay, so please go watch She-Hulk. It is really good, despite what the internet is saying. I enjoyed it immensely. It does feel a little rushed, but they have a lot of story to tell. Basically, this first episode is, here's her backstory, how she got here, and now we can move forward. So part of her character, she's talking to Banner about, her cousin, about his, her theories about him being a virgin and stuff, and it makes sense. And then they don't resolve it until the end credit scene. They come back, the end credit scene, and then she pushes it, and he's like, fine. He told me that he slept with somebody, blah, blah, during the USO tour, and it was like a one-night stand thing or whatever, so, that's what he told me. And then she goes, yes, I knew it, Captain America, fuck, and it comes out.
Captain America, fuck.
Well, I just look like I fuck. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I look like I fuck. And that's the vibe I like to put out there.
But yeah, She-Hulk is good. There's a lot of naysayers out there. I thought the effects were great. For a TV show, I thought they looked great. I believed that she was real. I believed the Hulk was real. Yes, it looks a little animated, but it's like the best animation. I liked it a lot. And also, all the other naysayers are because she's a feminist in the show. But, guys, you just got to get over this.
Right.
And
quit proving her point. All right, so let's move on to music. So both Taylor Swift and Kendrick Lamar are eligible to be nominated for an Oscar in the short film category.
That's awesome.
They haven't been nominated yet, but they are eligible. So Taylor Swift screened All Too Well at New York's AMC Lincoln Square to gain eligibility, and then we've all seen it since. Yeah. She did it on SNL. It's on the internet. It's everywhere. So, and it's amazing. And what was her name? Sadie Sink she plays Max on Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
She stars in it. So then Kendrick Lamar screened We Cry Together at LA's Lamel Royal Theater. It was mostly screening. It screened like once a day throughout the weekend to mostly friends and family. He did let select fans in there, but they confiscated phones. So it's very limited in who has actually seen this music video short film. There's no word yet on whether it's going to get a wider release before the Oscars or ever. It's not on his website. It's not on YouTube or anything right now. So moving on in music, Demi Lovato released her newest album, her 8th studio album. It's called Holy Fuck, which makes me more interested in it. But one of the songs that's getting the most talked about is a song called 29. Yes, it's the age she is now, but apparently the song is about Wilder Valderrama, her ex-boyfriend, who was 29 at the time they dated when she was like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he always dated young. Remember, he dated Lindsay Lohan. I think she was like 18 when he dated Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, a lot of the ones that I saw on the list were right at that 18, but he was talking to most of them before.
Well, it's like the Dane Cook situation where he's 50 and his girlfriend or his fiance is now 21, but they've been dating since she was 18, but he's known her for years longer. Yeah. It's like, dude, you're a 50-year-old man. What do you even talk about? Like, what do you even talk about with this girl? Like, I'm 37, and sometimes I have trouble coming up with conversation for people in their 20s because it's like a whole world apart. Like,
it is.
What are you talking about? Dane Cook did not age gracefully. Have you seen that man?
Well, he's had some work
He had some work done, and it is not good work. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I never thought he was cool, but I remember when everybody did, though.
Yep.
So.
There was that moment, and it was a whole year, like my freshman year of college, I think, where everyone was like, Dane Cook's awesome. And I liked his stand-up. I thought it was funny, and then it started coming out that he was stealing jokes, and you were like, oh, well, that's why he's funny, because he's copying off these funny people. All right, so moving on from music to rumors, because rumors are fun, gossip is fun, conspiracy theories can be fun when they're this kind. Yeah. So there's this conspiracy theory floating around Twitter that Tom Brady is missing from the Bucs training camp because he's off filming for The Masked Singer.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's amazing. It's like if you fall down this rabbit hole. So apparently, and we'll put up some tweets from some people who've been talking about it that I found that I was amused by. But apparently there was some very detailed Reddit thread that was starting to get shared around. So supposedly it goes that while he was fake retired, because remember he announced his retirement for like the third time or some shit like
and
that.
And he's only retired for like a week or something.
Right. So supposedly during his fake retirement, he signed a deal to be on The Masked Singer, but then he decided to go back to football, but because he signed this contract, he has to honor it. And so, which I'm not sure that's how that works, but...
I mean, no, it is, if you sign the contract.
Right, but I mean... he's got lawyers and stuff to get him out of that sort of thing.
Maybe.
Like,
He probably
Tom Brady, if he didn't want to do Masked Singer, they're not going to make Tom Brady do Masked Singer.
He wants to do it.
But,
That's true.
So when spring training or whatever or summer training, whatever, started, and he didn't show up, people are like, oh, it's because he's off filming The Masked Singer. Nobody knows where he really is, so maybe it's true. I kind of hope it is.
I'm sorry, I lost all respect for The Masked Singer. Not that I had much respect, but once they put Rudy Giuliani on there, I'm just like...
No, never another episode. But, I mean, Tom Brady is also...
Yeah,
pro.
whatever.
Yeah, so...
I don't like Tom Brady either. So
he's an asshole.
It's not going to make me watch it.
No, but I'm not going to watch it, but I really want this rumor to be true.
Yeah. I feel like Ken Jeong should get off that show. Like, he's too good
for that show, right? And sitting next to Jenny McCarthy's dumbass.
He doesn't need to be on that show anymore, but whatever.
Jenny McCarthy peaked at Singled Out, is all I'm saying.
She peaked at Playboy.
No, Singled Out was amazing. I loved Singled Out.
I never saw Singled Out. I saw her Playboy, though.
It was on VH1. It was amazing. Chris Hardwick hosted it. Now he's an asshole, too, so whatever. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Our final story involves daytime TV. So, Days of Our Lives, which is NBC's longest-running drama. It premiered in 1965. It is going off-network and being moved to Peacock, which I don't know how that's going to go for them because their core audience tends older.
Yes.
They don't tend to be good with computers, with logging into streaming services, No,
that sounds like a terrible idea. Now, I know
if you're trying to bring in a younger audience, maybe that's a good move.
Well, that's what they were doing. Remember, they have like a spin-off nighttime show or something.
General Hospital tried that once. It was called Night Shift. Okay, so full disclosure, General Hospital is my soap. That's the one I watch. I watch it with my aunt growing up. I love General Hospital. So I stopped watching General Hospital when they canceled the other ABC soaps and then brought their stars over. And I'm like, why did they get to succeed on General Hospital when they failed on their show just because they couldn't get the ratings General Hospital did? Whatever. So I stopped watching. Okay. So I did watch Days of Our Lives when I was a kid, like you're home from school or whatever in the summertime and stuff. So I've seen it. But yeah, General Hospital tried, it was called Night Shift, and they tried a primetime soap, and it did not work. Port Charles was another spinoff of
heard of that.
That one did work until they went too much into the vampires and stuff, which I personally loved, but I get why the average soap viewer did not. Which, by the way, NBC, bring back Passions. If we're talking about soap operas on NBC, bring back Passions.
I never saw it, but I heard about it.
Oh, it was amazing. It was a train wreck of a show. I loved it. So them doing a spin-off to like nighttime or for younger audiences, I don't see that working. But moving it to Peacock might bring in a younger audience because, like you said, when you're on streaming, sometimes you're just like, oh, well, what's this? I'll watch this. I need something to background, you know?
I can understand from a network executive's point of view, like the ratings probably aren't what they used to be. And they're probably thinking, okay, if we put it on Peacock, that's a daily show that people are going to tune in for if they're already hooked on it.
Right.
You know? But you also run the risk of people just being like, I forgot about it.
Too much effort.
I don't know if it's going to work or not. This could be the end of it. I know there used to be a soap opera channel on some cable
It was called Soap.net.
Is that still a thing?
I think so. I don't know, but I used to watch it all the time with my aunts.
That's what they should put the soap opera.
Yeah, it was SoapNet.
It
was SoapNet. Yeah. It was amazing.
But that probably even has lesser.
They played like old. That's how I got to see like General Hospital episodes from when they were like in black and white. Mm-hmm. Like it was crazy.
And that's
SoapNet was awesome.
And that's what they should do for streaming. Speaking of Peacock, so this came out I think today or yesterday or whatever. But I guess Jurassic World Dominion is going to go to Peacock on September 9th. And they're going to add 14 minutes of unreleased footage.
I don't see how it's going to make it better.
For some reason. Like, my question... Okay, I want to bring this up because what we talked about earlier about DVD content being on streaming is a good idea. And that's what it sounds like they're doing. However...
The movie was bad.
Does anybody really want to see this?
The movie was two movies smashed into one movie. It was the Owen and Claire movie, and then it was the Insect with Dr. Alan Grant and Ellie Sadler movie.
Goddamn
it was two separate movies that they were just like, nope, all in one, guys.
And apparently it's going to have an alternate opening, so maybe instead of just rushing through all that stuff at the opening, they'll actually have a scene.
Maybe, I don't know. But if you want to see our full thoughts on that, check out our review we did for Jurassic World. world.
Yep, I'll leave a link for that right here.
But yeah, we didn't care for it.
No,
it was okay.
Nobody really did, but what's weird was it still didn't do as well as the others, but
Well,
it
it
still
had
did very
dinosaurs.
well, you know?
I mean, that's why I went to see it for Blue, and so I was very upset that Blue was not in it more.
But it was weird, for as big as a movie as it was, it's like nobody ever talked about it. I think it's because everybody was meh.
Because what is the story? I said, it's 2 movies. If they wanted to bring back the original cast, they should have done that first.
Yeah.
Had the Alan Grant, Ali Sadler movie about their insects or whatever they wanted to do, and then and then you bring back Owen and Claire in the 3rd movie. They're still being hunted down or whatever, and they meet up with Ali and Grant, and then it makes more sense.
Yeah, it would have made way more sense. I don't think 14 minutes is going to save it.
No, it's really not.
It's a lot. I'm not saying it's for a
Right,
movie.
a lot can happen in 14
footage,
minutes. Right.
But we'll see.
I just don't see how it's going to help.
But I wanted to bring it up because I wanted not only tell you guys about it, but I wanted to give kudos to Peacock for doing this. Because I think that...
More of this. With better movies.
Yes. I think Disney Plus and Marvel needs to realize that this is a good idea. And because I would love to see the full 4-hour cut or whatever of Thor: Love and Thunder.
It was amazing.
You know? And I think that would be very, very cool. Now, I know Marvel doesn't want to ever do that because then that could... some of the things they cut is because they have to do it in different movies.
Yeah.
But I'd still just put it out there as non-canon, you know? Let us see it.
Whatever. More Love and Thunder would be 14 minutes added to that movie.
Yeah,
I would like.
I would watch exactly.
Because hopefully it's more God-killing scenes.
Yeah. See, I would, and I think that they should embrace that more. But kudos for NBC for doing it.
Yep.
I'm not sure it's the best movie to do it on, but it's a big movie.
It's a big movie, so yeah, I get it.
That's cool.
Yep, I get it. And again, back to the Days of Our Lives thing, I think it's another thing the execs were probably like, well, we need more people to subscribe to Peacock. Maybe this will give them a reason.
Exactly.
Oh, you want to see your soap? You have to subscribe to this now.
From what I've heard, Peacock does very well with their sports entertainment on there, which they do have a lot. So maybe, you know, they figure we put soaps out there, we can get even more of the older crowd over to it as well, because... Maybe not everybody wants to watch The Office 16 million times like we do, but but those people are dumb.
Which I pointed out to him. I was like, so the second person from Parks and Rec is now in Marvel because he got obviously Chris Pratt, but then she played Nadia, the girl that She-Hulk. She played Nadia in 2 episodes of Parks and Rec.
Which I was blown away by that. I just watched it too, but I wasn't really familiar with her.
Right, because we're like, well, Orphan Black, whatever.
Yeah.
No, Parks and Rec. She's from Parks and Rec.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
She's in 2 episodes.
Yeah. Again, she's great in the show. I love She-Hulk. All right, guys. I think that's our show for today. I think we've taken up enough of your time, but hopefully have maybe educated you and entertained you.
A little bit.
And gave you some thoughts. And if you have those thoughts, leave them in the comments below. Please subscribe and like and ring the bell. And on that note, I'm going to shut up now and let you get on with your day.
All right, and I'm going to go talk over here.
Okay, bye.